I arrived at the 911 call center at about 6 a.m. to trade shifts with my friend Caden, who worked the night shift. "Oh, thank the Lord," he laughed as I walked through the door. "I was just about to die. I was so tired," he yelled. A lot of people in the center took the night shift because they say that's when the more interesting calls take place. Me, on the other hand, I usually take the more simpler calls, I guess you could call it, and I like my job that way. Caden took his coffee from his desk, took a sip, and walked out of the center. I sighed and put the headset on and waited. As soon as I heard the phone, I immediately picked it up and answered. 911, what's your emergency? I asked. My dog's leg is stuck in a fence and it's bleeding really bad." He sounded like he was a child, maybe 7 or 8. "I don't know who to call," the kid told me, whimpering. "What's your address?" I asked him. He told me his address and we figured everything out. Soon, it was rescued and I guess they were fine. About 30 minutes later, I got another phone call. I grabbed the phone and answered it like usual. 911, what's your emergency? I just heard silence. 911, I said, more angered this time. What is your emergency? The voice on the other line whispered into the phone and replied with, "Too late." And then he hung up. The voice on the other line whispered into the phone and replied with, "Too late." And then he hung up. A few seconds after I got that call, I got another call. But this time, all I heard was screaming, followed with a loud slicing noise, and then silence. I held my breath, hoping it was just a prank, but I don't think it was. I got on my computer and tried to trace the call. Eventually, I was able to trace it and figured out it came from a secluded forest in Colorado. We got some officers to go out there and check it out, and what they found was just frightening. It was a single dog with all of its legs chopped off and a little boy impaled with a stick. Whenever they told me about it, I think I almost pissed my pants. I thought about the call earlier, a little boy and his dog. Another day passes after the incident, and I'm at my house. I called in sick, which I never do, to take in everything that happened the previous day. All of my thoughts were hitting me like a tsunami. I don't know if it was the same boy from the call. Who killed him? Why did the killer do this? I don't know what happened, and I still don't. A few days later, and I came back to work. I was hoping everything was gonna come back to normal, but I then realized, of course, it wasn't. I got a call as soon as I sat down and put on my headset. Of course, I answered like always. 911, what's your emergency? My baby is choking! What's your address, ma'am? I could hear wailing and coughing in the background. My address is 304 Cherrybrook Lane. Okay, we'll be there shortly, ma'am. I informed the EMTs and they drove there immediately. I got another call about 45 minutes later. 911, what's your emergency? I said. Too late, the man replied. Then he hung up. I traced the call yet again, and it was another forest in Colorado. We had another police squad go down there, and what they found was terrifying. It was a baby in its high chair, with blood pouring out of its mouth and other gory details, along with an older woman with slit wrists. I quit my job the next day and started working somewhere else. I was scarred in my experience as a 911 dispatcher, and I just wanted to share my story. Let me tell you, if you decide to be a 911 dispatcher and you're listening to this, please reconsider before it's too late.